believe in slumps. In fact, believing that is actually hurting you. Aliens have not come down and abducted your body and your mind. If you're playing bad, there's a reason for it. And calling it a slump is almost a concession to it, as if to say, well, it's not my fault, I'm in a slump. That's a cop-out that keeps you down. It keeps you from progressing. Your job is to find out what you're doing wrong, address it, and fix it, and this is how we progress as pool players. Until you do that, you will never progress. And this is the whole reason I started putting myself on video. Way back years ago, I turned the camera on to try to figure out what I was physically doing wrong. And you can't really see if your elbow is in line, your stance is right. I mean, you're just getting down on the ball and shooting it. So there had to be something. Is your stick coming up? Is your elbow, is your wrist twisting? Or something was going on. So I turned the camera on with no intention to ever put videos on YouTube of my pool game. I just wanted to diagnose my game and address it and fix it. Another big issue is knowing what you're doing wrong and not being able to fix it. So if the problem is in your physical game, you have to realize that you're not putting enough energy into fixing it, at least not for long, and you slip back into your old ways and go back into playing bad. So if it's a physical issue, such as you're twisting your wrist, you have to understand that you can't just fix it one time and expect it to be all better. And because that's a muscle memory issue, it's going to take 21 days of playing every day and addressing that issue and, forcing your mind to focus on that twisting wrist and keeping that wrist straight 21 days to form a muscle habit. And what happens is when you put all that energy into one single issue, it distracts you from your game, and it takes too much work, and it's not fun, and we all want to have fun, so we say to hell with that. We immediately slip back to our old ways. Focusing on that single issue for a few hours a day, every single day for 21 days is anything but easy. It's going to be very difficult for you to do that. But this is what great players are willing to do, and this is why they're great. You just have to accept that it's not going to be easy, and you have to focus on it, and you just have to commit to it. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy. I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be great, right? Well, this is what separates okay players from great players. If your problem is physical, you don't need a pool table to work on it. You can do it on your kitchen table as long as it's roughly the same height as a pool table. Or just make something the same height as a pool table, and you can practice keeping that wrist straight, keeping that elbow up, and keeping everything in line. And you can videotape yourself at home too, or you can practice in front of a mirror. Yeah, another thing it's going to take a sacrifice, and I'm not talking about doing anything stupid, young people like dropping out of school or anything like that. But once you find the actual problem in your game, it often calls for sacrifice. And you'll note in my last video, I explained that I was off balance and shaky and just something was wrong physically with my balance. And I'm a serious coffee drinker in the morning and through a pretty big part of the day, and the stronger the coffee is, the more I like it. I started buying French imported coffee straight out of France, and the stuff is super, super strong, and there's a good reason that they only serve it in like a Dixie cup when you go to France. But I was drinking it like American coffee, Maxwell House, and drinking, just drinking it, and I loved it. And it's very expensive. It's like You ever take a look at coffee grinds and how, coarse they are? Well, this stuff was like sand at the beach. Um, so if you mix it like Maxwell House or, American coffee, it is going to be strong. And I mean, really, really strong. And then to kind of balance that, I was drinking expensive gin throughout most of the nights. So then I would get down to the pool table, and I knew my body wanted to fall over, but it couldn't figure out if it wanted to fall left or right. So there I'd be kind of off balance at the table, and it was really affecting my game, which was really affecting my confidence, and I was hating it. And then I finally pinpointed it to actually both the coffee and the gin. So I had to stop drinking this coffee, which I absolutely adore. And it was just a sacrifice I had to make, and I had to cut down on the gin too. So the good news is I found out what was going wrong, and it was time to sacrifice it. You have to see the whole picture over years, and one of the best things you can do for your pool game and to keep you bearing down and progressing is to find a partner who's equally as good as you and just as dedicated as you and is really serious about this. And but it will become a grudge match. And hopefully, it'll be kept friendly. One of you is going to progress faster than the other one, and your time together is probably going to dwindle out. If you both progress equally as fast, it will be very rare, but it does happen. And then just keep doing it. Just keep making the grudge match, and you might want to put something on the line to make yourself bear down even further. Now, I realize that some of you guys are total loners, and I understand that because I am too. The way to do it, if that's your case, is to always play people better than you. And that's probably going to get you hurt, and I mean, not physically hurt. Um, it's, it's going to be tough on you, and it's probably going to be a little bit expensive too, because the best players, don't waste their time playing for free. That what I just said is common advice, and you've probably heard it somewhere along the line, but I think it's been really misinterpreted and confused over the years. And it's not really that you're learning anything other than how to think. Although there will be times when you're actually physically learning something. And that probably sounds stupid in itself, but what if there's something on the line, even if it's just your ego, what it's doing is getting you used to the pressure of playing pool, competitive pool. So when you start running 2 and 3 packs on each other and begin to think, I don't just, want to beat this guy, I want to put a 9 pack on him and just skunk them and blow them out of the water. That's when you start thinking right. So what it's doing is getting your brain, and just like the muscles in your body have to get used to working right, your brain has to get used to working right too. So you find yourself one day with something to prove, and the day that you begin to prove it is the day that your pool game is beginning to take off big time.
Only good news is you're one of them stuck in here this morning.
You don't need a $20,000 pool cue and a $600 chef. You don't need a $60 tip. What you need to do is find out what feels right to you, what's comfortable to you, what you prefer in all three, the cue, the tip, and the shaft. What feels right to you and what's comfortable to you will build your confidence, make you comfortable physically and mentally, and you'll play better. If you're new to buying pool cues and not really sure what you want, ask other players what they like. Ask them if you can take a shot with it. Find out what works for you, where your balance point is, what kind of grip you like, what kind of tip you like, and then go from there and just find that off the shelf for anywhere between $250 and $350. After that, you're paying for inlays, artistic value, details, and marketing. Good old fashioned marketing, and a lot of the marketing is flat out bullshit scams. You're not buying a piece of art, you're buying a pool cue that's going to improve your pool game. Also, take to heart that if you're a serious pool player, you're going to be playing damn near every day, and the more you play, the more banged up that pool cue is going to get. What you're looking for, if you really want to excel in this game, is a road dog that can keep up with you. Comfort and confidence, that's what you're looking for. Don't go too low because you're going to be buying poor quality, and don't go too high because you're buying art. There was once a time when Skylar Woodward didn't know how to chalk a pool cue, and Shane Van Boning didn't know how to make a bridge, and Larry Lascotti miscued 5 times in a row. Pulls it that never-ending learning process, and you can walk up to any one of these players, and they'll be happy to address this question. If you ask them, are they still learning about the game? And they'll tell you straight up, yes, I learn new stuff every single day. So understand that process of learning never stops. And just when you think you're unbeatable and the greatest player in the world, you're going to learn that there's some guy out there willing to challenge you and willing to put it all on the line, and is going to tell you, well, you're great, but I have a better break than you, so you need to work on your break. So just understand that and don't let your ego get carried away from you, and just stay humble. That's what the fans like, and that's what they want. And the more fans we have in this game, the more money goes into your pocket. So just concede to it. You're never going to stop learning, and because of that, you should never stop getting better, even when you're the best.